myself comfy on the sofa. Good morning everybody, hello and welcome to you from wherever you are in the world. Thank you for joining me here once again, and an incredibly warm welcome to you if it's your very first time here and you've managed to find me. That's so exciting. I'm so amazed at how many people have found me. It's incredible. When I first put my films up on YouTube, when I put my very first one, which was me looking at a box of papers basically, I had no idea how anybody would find me. It was incredible. But slowly over the last, I can't believe I've even been doing this for 3 years. It's amazing, and it's just become so much part of my life that I do this and I share my artwork with you, and I just love it because I'm connecting with kindred spirits wherever you are, whatever it is you do that's sort of creative, or even if you're just watching because you find my videos, I don't know, relaxing to watch. That's just lovely. I'm just so delighted that you're all here with me. It's brilliant. So what have I been up to this weekend? I did some mucking out of my chickens, and I was just thinking it's so lovely to muck chickens out, and that sounds so insane, I know, but actually mucking my animals out just keeps me so grounded. It's one of these really practical jobs like washing up or cleaning your floors or whatever. Not that I ever clean my floors if I can help it. I just think it's incredible how it is a lovely thing to do because it is grounding and it has to be done, and you can do it, and you're not thinking about 101 other things, you're just thinking about the job at hand, aren't you? You're just kind of doing whatever it is, whether it's cleaning or... So I had a lovely time, and because the weather's cooled off a bit, it's just much more pleasant to be outside, and it's much easier to do jobs outdoors or anywhere actually because it's cooled off. It's so much more back to a normal wet and cool summer here in Cumbria. It's just lovely. So late afternoon yesterday, the other thing we did was my husband and I were both in the vegetable patch. Now the vegetable patch, it's a bit of a crazy place, you know. You dream of this immaculate, orderly place like you dream of your house being all tidy all the time, don't you? But it never happens. So I mean, it's full of weeds, it's full of growth, there's always things we need to do down there. But what a lovely place to be. It's, again, if you have a window box or a backyard or whatever you've got that you can grow something in, I think that is just the most therapeutic activity. It really is. Your hands in the soil and growing things, putting a seed in. So last night for my tea, I actually ate one of the courgettes that we've grown, or a zucchini or whatever, perhaps you call it something different, but it was a yellow one, it was a posh one. It wasn't just the green ones. We'd grown some yellow ones which tend to be smaller than the big green ones, and I always pick them small. I don't know about you, but I like my vegetables small and fresh. And so to pick it last night and actually take it up to the house and cook it, and I just put it in the oven with a bit of oil. I chopped it up and just did it with a bit of olive oil, and it was just delicious, and it was so satisfying because we'd grown it ourselves. So I'm just saying, look, I'm so lucky, I'm so grateful for being where we live. I have lived with just a tiny backyard, I've lived in a caravan, I've done all sorts of things, but I've always tried to grow things, whatever it is, in my little backyard in a town that I lived in. I grow all sorts of things. It's amazing, you know, you just need a bit of soil somewhere. So anyway, that's what I was up to. I hope you've had a nice week and a good weekend. And now today we're going to do some more in my sketchbook. I hope you're enjoying this. I feel so chilled and relaxed when I'm doing it. It's just splashing and playing, and I hope you're you know, you're going to perhaps join me if you've got your paints out and your papers out. Let's get on and do some more playing. Okay, so this is another one that I did earlier on, and I'm just thinking about what we could put onto this one next. So I'm thinking, well, maybe what about we'll do a bit of bubble wrap on this one. A bit of tissue paper here that I'm going to scrunch up. We're going to have a play with this, okay? So we're going to put some colour down on here. Ooh, I've still got quite a lot on the brush, you see. I don't need to waste that. Ooh, isn't this fun? You know, I could just be doing this onto here, like that. Ah, let's do that. Let's just do that. Let's not use the scrunched paper. Let's just do that and see what happens. Let's get me ruler. Come on, ruler. There we go. Well, not terribly exciting because it was very wet, but it was worth doing because I didn't know it was going to do that. Let's break that up a little bit with that, and perhaps put a little bit of right, okay. Watch out, because this has got all sorts on it now, so I'm just going to just knock that back a little bit. And the thing about using a bit of kind of kitchen paper or something is it does make some nice, very subtle little marks. And anything you take off, you can use somewhere else. As I say, you know, this is not about success or failure. This is about the process of playing and exploring and creating this thing that I'm going to take and add to. So it's a very simple, subtle background, and you might be thinking, well, there's nothing much there, is there? And I'm thinking, well, no, you're right, absolutely right, there isn't much there, but it's got potential. This is not the end. This is not the end. This is only the beginning. And goodness knows what I'm going to do with them when I actually get on my holiday. We'll find out about that when I come back. Right, I'm just going to try this. I'm going to put some brown on here. So this is, I don't know what this is. I think it might be waxed paper actually. I think it might be waxed paper. It's not just tissue paper, but I just thought, well, if I put that on there, maybe like that, we'll see what happens. And I think I won't do it on there because that's now got too much going on it. I think we'll have a go with this one. Let's see what, oh no, see, that's not going to bring very much, I don't think. But that's because it's waxed. Because that's waxed paper. But look, it's made a nice pattern again on here. You see, it's all about, you've got to see the potential in these things. Let's just try that again. Okay. Maybe I'll just run my finger along there. There you go. Oh yes, yes, that's added a little bit of something down there. Maybe we want a bit of green. I'm feeling the need for a little bit of green. Oops, that's rather a lot of green. Let's put that up there. Oh, I'll tell you what it is, I've got brown on here now. Let's just actually just give that a bit of a wash. It has got a lot of brown. So maybe try using a bit of this. Just for the fun of it. Don't know what it's going to do. Let's find out. Excuse me, paintbrush. Don't need you in the way. Well, again, pretty subtle, but nice marks, don't you think? And this may not, as I say, this may not float your boat at all, but you could be doing this in very vibrant colours and not actually using it to do sketching in later on, just for the fun of just doing the pages and then adding other things on, you know. If you watch some of my other sketchbook videos, I'll try and leave a link below if I remember. I apologise in advance if I forget, but there's a couple of videos that I've done, particularly at the beginning of the year, where I used quite a bit more colour and made landscapes actually in my sketchbook from the pages, the pieces of paper that I was printing. So you could go and have a look at that. But again, I think that's ripe and ready for adding to. So let's get that one dried off. Okay, so now I'm going to be brave and I'm just going to try actually putting the paint directly onto the paper. And what am I going to do with it? I just had an idea then, it's gone out of my head again. Okay, yes, let's do this. I'll tell you what we're going to do. This is me experimenting, okay? I'm just going to try wetting the paper, just so the paper is nice and wet. And actually that's adding a little bit of colour to it from the water. We're going to just do something down here, like that. And we're going to see what happens with that. That's nice and wishy-washy. And I'm just wondering whether you could add marks into that. Now you might not like them, so you can just go over it. If you go over it again, then you've still got some of the marks underneath it, and that's made that could be a hedgerow or something. It could be the beginnings of something hedgerowy with lots of, or grasses in a field, something like that. And it actually wasn't what I was going to do, and I completely forgot what it was I was going to do. I'm just going to put the paper, oh, I know what I was going to do, I remember now. Let's just try this. I'm going to get some clean water, ladies and gentlemen, because I think that's very green and I want another one that's going to be for greys. Here we go, pot of water. And my brush, this one had the grey on from before, so I'm going to use this again. This is where working small is quite nice, nothing has to be too big. And we're just going to do that and see what happens. We'll just make that really nice and wet. Ooh, look at that, that's a misty moorland, isn't it? That's a grey moorland day. I'm up on the moors somewhere with this. And then what you can do, you see, you can put some cling film on top and see what happens. I think the paint's a bit wishy-washy, but again, I've got this really nice, let's just get a clean piece of paper. Ooh, clean piece of paper, and we're just going to scop that on there. Okay. See what happens. Ooh, yes. Very, very subtle marks, but it's the start of something, and I could do that again. I think we'll let that dry and maybe put a thicker coat on. I might put a thicker coat on. Let's just try it with it like this, see what happens if I do this. Ah, that's better. That's better, you see. That just knocks it back a little bit. And add some marks in. Those marks are not really staying, really, are they? But again, you could be doing quite like that. So I put a base layer and then another colour on top, and just use the end of my paintbrush to make some more marks. Again, I feel almost as though I'm creating landscapes just by doing this, and that it would take very little to actually add to them. That's really fun. I've enjoyed that. That page I like very much. So I might go back to this one and add some things across the top here, because that's a bit lacking in va-va-voom. And we'll use a bit of this. I think we'll have a fresh bit of that. Just knock that back a little bit. And maybe do that across there as well. Take a little bit of that and maybe splodge that over there. Ooh, look. Ooh, goodness me. Ooh, I've made some funny shapes there. Just knock that back a little bit. I don't really want anything too, I think what the word is, shapy. Shapy. I don't think too shapy and dramatic. But, you know, it's all grist to the mill. Okay, so I think that's probably about enough for today. I hope you've enjoyed watching me doing this, and it might inspire you to go away and find some paper and find some paints and just start playing with what you've got available to you. I feel like I'm beginning to get something that's quite coherent here because I'm using the same colours. It's very focused, and you begin to create a collection of things which have a coherence to them that's going to fit in with my sketchbook, and I really like that. So I think what I'm going to do next with these is once they're all completely dry, is I will be turning them over and starting again on the back, and so that I've got double-sided pages for my sketchbook. So as I say, I think that's enough for today. I think it's lunchtime. I've so enjoyed doing this, and I just hope that you've enjoyed watching what I've been doing, and you'll be inspired to go and do your own thing with it any way that you want to do it. It's so cool, it's so brilliant. It's entirely up to you what you do. And I will see you again in my studio next week, and we'll do some more with the sketchbook and see where we get to with it. So thank you again so much for joining me here. Thank you for being part of this game. It's absolutely wonderful that you're here with me. Don't forget to subscribe, leave me a thumbs up if you enjoyed the video, because then more people can come and find us and come and join us here. So that's all from my studio today and me, and I will see you again next week for some more printing fun.
Ba 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 ba.